A very warm welcome to each and every one of us. Welcome back once again to the science class today. As class, you all know that the number of COVID cases are not decreasing, they are increasing only day by day. So again, I am making a humble request from my side to take all the necessary precautions, take all the necessary cares so that we do not come in contact with this virus and we do not suffer from COVID-19. Before starting with this, I would like to request you to take the necessary precautions like washing your hands, minimizing the work of outside. Try to work from inside your homes, whatever things are possible. Otherwise, we will have to go. There is no option for us. But still, if there is any chance, so we should try to do all the works from inside our home. Now, let us start with today's topic. So, this is a science class. So, all of us we know that science is not does not has only one branch. Since now what you are studying is you are studying all the science in one, that is physics, chemistry and bio. They are together in one for you. But just after this, that is when you will be going to class 6th, in that your all this physics, chemistry and bio will be getting separated. So let us move ahead with the first topic. Today I am not going to do the revision, but I will be doing the revision in the last. So without any delay, let us start with today's topic. Our today's topic is the common diseases which are caused by the microbes. We have earlier discussed about these diseases, but today we will be discussing about them in detail, that is who is responsible for causing these diseases, what are the symptoms and what are the preventions which can be taken. ठीक है, that is ये डिसीज किससे होते हैं और इनके लक्षण क्या हैं. लक्षण मीन्स कैसे हमें पता चलेगा कि हाँ हम उस डिसीज से सफर कर रहे हैं. नेक्स्ट, जैसे बुखार में क्या होता है, शरीर गर्म हो जाता है, तो ये क्या है, ये सिम्टम है, लक्षण है. ठीक है, किसके, बुखार के. इन द सेम वे, सो टुडे वी विल बी डिस्कसिंग अबाउट all the three things, that is your causal organism, symptoms and the necessary preventions. Now if we start with the very first one, so the very first one is dengue. If you remember, I have told you in our previous classes, that is this malaria and dengue, they are caused by the mosquitoes. Okay, when we get bitten by these mosquitoes, we start suffering from dengue or malaria. What is the reason for this is because they contain some malarial parasites. Since we are discussing about dengue here, so we will restrict ourselves to the dengue only. Now let us see who is responsible for causing this dengue. So this mosquito is responsible, and I hope if you would have revised the previous classes, so you will be able to answer which kind of mosquito is this. So this is basically the female Aedes aegypti. This is the complete name of this mosquito, or generally you can say that this is female Aedes mosquito who is responsible for causing dengue. Alright, now if we move ahead with some of the symptoms of this, so what do we find here? that is signs and symptoms of the dengue fever. That is कैसे हमें पता चलेगा कि we are suffering from dengue here. So if you can see here, the very first symptom is high fever. That is, the temperature of our body will be very high. The second one is your headache. Headache means, if you can see, stomach ache, headache, joint ache. If you can see this word headache, this is made up of two words, that is head plus ache. Ache basically means pain. So wherever pain occurs, generally we add this ache word with that. If it is headache, so headache. Stomach ache, pain in the stomach, so stomach ache. Pain in the legs, leg ache, or pain in the joints, joint ache. Alright, so this is how the ache word gets attached itself wherever the pain occurs. The third one, we have the joint and the muscle pain. Joints, if you remember, you must have studied, or we know this thing, that is our each and every part of the body. If we are able to move our fingers, if we are able to move our hand, so that is just because of the joint which is present. If the joint would not have been there, so we would not be able to move our body. Moving ahead to this, we have the rashes. Rashes basically means, that is when a kind of scribbling, that is khujli, you can call it to be, that is you are able to feel these rashes over your entire body. Next symptom of this is vomiting. That is, frequently you keep on giving out whatever you have eaten through your mouth. That is, your stomach or body is not able to digest what you are eating. That is why it keeps on coming out now and then. That is vomiting. Vomiting is nothing but your ulti karna. Next one is your severe diarrhea. When we are talking about severe diarrhea, so basically we are discussing about the frequent stools which are being passed. This is also related to the same thing, that is our stomach is not able to digest anything. That is why whatever we eat, it again gets transferred, or we just have to go to washroom for this. Next we have the circulatory problems. See, circulatory problems basically means what? That is the flow of blood throughout the body that constitutes the circulatory system. So there is problem in the flow of blood throughout the body. So these are all the symptoms of dengue fever. That is your high fever, headache, joint and muscle pain, rashes, vomiting, severe diarrhea, as well as your circulatory problems. Alright, so this was all for dengue. Let us move ahead with second part, that is your malaria. This also I have told you in detail, if you remember, or if you would have revised the previous classes. So this is the mosquito which is responsible for causing malaria, and this mosquito contains the malarial parasite. I have shared this picture with you in the previous class as well. So this is your female Anopheles mosquito which is responsible for causing malaria. Alright, now let us move ahead with the symptoms of malaria. If we talk about the symptoms of malaria, so the very first symptom, that is the common symptom of dengue, that is headache. At the very top you can see there. So headache is the common symptom, and next you have the respiratory system, that is problem in the respiratory system, that is dry cough. Next you have dry cough. Basically means what? That is whenever you are coughing, your entire neck gets dried up, or you feel that it is completely dry and nothing comes out, no mucus, nothing comes out when you are coughing. Next is your problems in the skin. Problems in the skin which we can identify, or the symptoms in the skin which we can identify are high fever will be there, very common, just like your dengue. Next is your shivering. Shivering basically means that we will be feeling cold enough. So we will be using the blankets even in the summers as well, when each and everyone would be wearing half pant or half t-shirts and would be comfortable under the fan or in air conditioners. We would be feeling, or the person who is suffering from malaria, he or she would be feeling cold enough, due to which the body will keep on shivering. And that is why you will always find that the person who is suffering from malaria always has one or two blankets covered over his body. Next we have jaundice. Jaundice in Hindi we call it to be pelia. Okay, pelia is basically, as the word in Hindi only tells us, our eyes and the body, they become yellow enough. Alright, next the common symptom with dengue, that is joints pain, that is wherever joints are there, pain will be there. Next we have the stomach problems, that is also common, vomiting would be there. Spleen enlargement, this is also one of the internal organs symptoms which cannot be seen by us but can be diagnosed when you go for ultrasound or any other kinds of diagnostic tests. Next again we will be having pain in the muscles, and fatigue and convulsions will be there. That is basically you will feel quite weak, due to which you will not be able to move properly, or you will feel quite weak enough that your muscles and joints, they have not strong enough to carry your load. Now let us move ahead to the next part. So here we will be discussing about the prevention of dengue and malaria both. As we have seen here, that is both dengue and malaria, they have lot of common symptoms except one or two which are different, as well as they both have the same causal organism also, only the type and the species are different. मतलब डेंगू और मलेरिया दोनों ही मॉस्किटो से ही होते हैं, लेकिन एक केस में, डेंगू के केस में फीमेल एडिस मॉस्किटो है और मलेरिया के केस में फीमेल एनोफिलिस मॉस्किटो है. तो इसीलिए हम कह रहे हैं कि हम इनका जो प्रिवेंशन हम पढ़ेंगे कि कैसे हम डेंगू और मलेरिया से अपने आप को बचाएं, हम इसको जॉइंटली पढ़ते हैं. Let us start with this. So first let us do of the dengue fever. Remove water from coolers and other small containers If you remember, I have told you in our discussions that stagnant water, रुका हुआ पानी, it is the place where mosquitoes breed. That is, they divide and multiply their numbers. That is, they increase in number. तो पानी कहीं नहीं इकट्ठा होने देना है. Second one, aerosols can be used to destroy adult mosquitoes during transmission seasons. जैसे जब बहुत ज़्यादा बरसात या फिर इन लोग के सीजन्स होते हैं तो आप देखते हैं कि हमारी गवर्नमेंट भी क्या करती है, इंसेक्टिसाइड्स और पेस्टिसाइड्स नगर निगम वाले गाड़ी लेकर के, ठीक है, स्प्रे करते हैं पूरे जगह पे. ठीक है. If we talk about our homes or houses, we can also take some of the insect repellents, mosquito repellents. We can use it and we can spray it in our homes, especially during two times, that is in the morning and in the evening. Alright. The third precautions which we can do is, instead of using all these aerosols, mosquitoes, all out, morphine, the best way is to use the mosquito nets or mosquito repellents while sleeping during the daytime. Next is, since you know that these mosquitoes, when they will bite us, then only we will be suffering from one or the other kind of diseases. So we should wear full shirt, that is full sleeves shirt, so that if mosquito comes in contact with our body, so first it will sit on our shirts, then after it will try to pierce its sting into the body. Is that clear? Now let us move ahead to the preventions of the malaria. If we see here the ABCD of malaria prevention, that is, what are the things which we can do. This is, you can say, that a kind of trick to remember this malarial prevention. A is for awareness, that is, we should be much more aware, that is, what are the necessary precautions, what are the necessary symptoms, and how long this malaria remains and how it can be treated. Second one is the B for bite prevention. Bite prevention, if you remember, just now we have discussed, that is using mosquito nets, mosquito repellents or aerosols or any kind of these things, so that we do not get bitten by the mosquito bites. C is for chemoprophylaxis, that is, we should have proper medicines which are specifically for malaria prevention only. Last but not the least, that is your D for diagnosis. Diagnosis means, that is, we should visit to a doctor, follow the instructions very carefully and keep on tracking the malarial symptoms, and at the same time follow the strict instructions given by the doctor, because the medicines of malaria or dengue, they are being run for approximately 15 days or a month or up to 2 months. Okay, so if there is a gap in between the regular intake of medicines, the malarial parasite is again going to be active and we may again have to start the entire process. If we move ahead to our next part, So we have here swine flu, which occurred earlier, very common, very destructive, just like your COVID-19. If you can see here, basically it was found into the pigs, and when the pigs they came in contact with the humans, the viruses got transferred from the pigs to the humans, and from humans to human it started getting transferred. This H1N1 virus was responsible for causing swine flu, and the symptoms include the high fever, nausea, and sore throat. Okay, so since it is a communicable disease, it is exactly more or less similar to your COVID-19. If you can see here also, if we are going to touch anything, or if we are going to touch the person who is suffering from COVID-19, then we also will start suffering from that COVID-19, because the virus from that person gets transferred into us. In the similar way, the same condition was of swine flu as well. If we move ahead, what are the preventions which can be taken for this swine flu is, the very first one, cover your nose and mouth with hanky or disposable tissue when you cough or sneeze. Why it is telling here disposable tissue? Because in the case of disposable tissue, when we cough or sneeze, the viruses they get stick to the hanky or that tissue, and when we rub it to our nose or anywhere else, we find that the viruses may get enter inside our body. So in order to prevent them, we should use disposable tissue, so that once you have used it, just throw it and use a fresh one. But it is very rarely possible, and very less people follow this. Secondly, at the time of disposing that disposable tissue, please do not throw it anywhere here and there on the road. Properly throw it into a dustbin which is covered, which has a lid over it, which has a cover over it, so that the viruses may not come in contact with the environment. The third one is washing your soap or hand regularly from time to time with soap or Dettol or Savlon or sanitizers or anything like that. Next one, if you have if we have any kind of such symptoms of the swine flu, immediately visit to a doctor, so that we can have the confirmation, as well as we can go ahead with the treatment. Now let us move ahead to some more preventive measures, that is, we can use alcohol based sanitizers, avoid touching eyes, nose, just like the same case of COVID-19. If you have flu-like symptoms, try to work from the home, and so that you may not come in contact with the healthy persons, and the swine flu also may not get transferred from you to a healthy person. Next is never allow contact with a sick person or a person who is having swine flu like symptoms. So this was all for swine flu. Let us move ahead to the fourth part, that is typhoid. If you remember, this also we have discussed earlier when we discussed our very first topic, how the diseases get spread, that is by the contaminated food and water. This typhoid is caused due to a organism which is known as Salmonella typhi. Okay, try to remember the word. Salmonella is a new word for you. Typhoid typhi. Okay, so just by the name of this microorganism only, the name of this disease or the fever has also been given, that is Salmonella typhi. What are the symptoms in the case of this typhoid fever? The very first one, white coating on the tongue. Second, rashes on the body. Okay. Third, enlarged spleen and liver, that is from the normal size. जो हमारा normal size होता है liver का और spleen का, वो normal ना रह करके और बड़ा हो जाता है, उसमें swelling आ जाती है. Next is your ulcers in the intestine. Ulcers means छाले. जैसे हमारे मुंह में छाले पड़ जाते हैं तो हमें खाने में दिक्कत होती है, ठीक उसी तरीके से जब हमारे इंटेस्टाइन में छाले पड़ जाते हैं तो फूड को डाइजेस्ट करने में भी दिक्कत होता है इंटेस्टाइन को. ऑलराइट, बिकॉज बेसिकली द डाइजेशन ऑफ फूड अकर्स इन द intestine only, small intestine. Okay, so now this is what. Now one more effect is also there of this, that is your swollen abdomen. Okay, when we are talking about swollen abdomen, so what is the reason for this? First let us try to understand. Always remember class, that is our entire body is divided into three parts, that is head, thorax and abdomen. If you can see, the region above the neck, that is known as your head. From the neck up to your chest, that is here known as thorax, and from the chest up to your waist, that is kamar tak, that is known as your abdomen. So this region, abdomen region, gets swollen up in the case of your typhoid fever. Okay, so this is all for typhoid. Now I hope we are not left behind with the time for your recapitulation, that is revision of whatever we have studied today. So basically, if you would have seen, we have studied 4 different types of diseases today. Basically, that was dengue, malaria, swine flu and your typhoid. And in all the 4 cases, one common symptom was your fever. Okay, if you will try to find it out, you will be able to find some more common symptoms in all these 4 diseases. Alright, now I humbly request you to please try to solve the objective type questions by your own. Tomorrow in the next class I will be discussing over it. We have 2 more illness which is going to be discussed tomorrow, and thereafter we will be moving ahead with the fair copy part. Alright, now I humbly request you to keep on revising these topics, because your unit test 2 is also going to be conducted very soon. So please do not wait for the last moment and please start preparing from now. And please do not forget to take all the necessary precautions. That's all for today. Take care and have a nice day ahead. Until that time, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you and have a superb day ahead.